Hello, welcome to Souls Intersect. This video is a follow-up to the 3-minute video I just posted. That video was announcing a Valentine's Day promotion that I have going starting today, lasting through February, and I'm promoting my past life readings. As I explained in that video, for the past life readings, I go into a deep meditation and access the Akashic records. I actually don't use tarot cards. I deliver what I see in audio format, explaining to you all of the details of visuals that I see, emotions I pick up on because I'm an empath as well, and any significant events that took place in that lifetime, any significant symbols or people that show up for me. So, in terms of how it can help, I got some questions right away from several of you asking how it can help and asking for a little bit more detail about what the reading might look like. So I'm actually going to share with you an example of a reading I did. I asked permission from this person. I'm not going to give their name, of course, but I'm going to tell you what they were asking about and what I ended up seeing in my meditation. And I'm going to share with you the story of the past life. And then I'm going to explain how it helped that person a little bit, just to give you a little bit more detail. I really love doing these readings, and I see such benefits coming from them, so I'm very enthusiastic about it, and I really want to share this information. So I'm very grateful to this client for allowing me to share this information. So this particular client was telling me about meeting someone that felt like a very significant soul connection. This is someone that she didn't know very well, didn't get the chance to know very well. There were restrictions on them being able to be friends, but she felt like there was a strong attraction anyway, both physical and mental, but especially spiritual. So after getting some answers in a tarot reading that pertained mainly just to events that took place in this lifetime, or that are taking place now, she wanted to delve a little deeper to maybe find out some more about why the spiritual connection felt so strong, why she felt like she recognized this person. And another thing she included was that she wanted more information about the location where she met this person, because she felt like it was very significant. She felt like they were both drawn there, that it was some kind of portal or something. She couldn't really put her finger on it, and she felt like that area was very significant. So they met in this cafe, and they kept returning there, and that is the place where she felt also carried some important meaning, and she thought maybe this was from a past life. So that's the information that she presented to me. What I ended up seeing was the two of them in a past life in the same exact area. So that doesn't always happen. It made sense for this particular client because it was exactly what she was asking about, and she did have that recognition in terms of the place. A lot of times I see something from, it could be 100 years ago, it could be 500, it could be 5,000 years ago. I see all kinds of time periods, I see all kinds of regions, and often they surprise people. But it wasn't surprising in this case that it was the exact same location. And the other interesting thing about it was that it wasn't very long ago. And I think that that was part of why the connection felt so strong. So this was quite possibly their most recent past lifetime, and it was together. There were some similar themes. So in this current lifetime, they are about, the same social class. They're the same race. They just couldn't really get to know each other because one of them was married and there were some restrictions there. In the past life, there were some similarities and some differences. In the past life, what I saw was that she was African American, and he was a very wealthy white male. And there was a significant social class difference, especially because she was this working class person. I saw her doing various jobs around the city where they lived. It was in San Diego. And I saw a lot of things that when I looked them up later, I realized that historically they were quite accurate. What I saw with him was that he was very wealthy, and he was this real estate mogul, and he also helped to build the railroads in San Diego. And she, as I said, she did all kinds of different part-time jobs. She was the single female. I didn't see her ever getting married. I saw her really struggling to make it on her own, and that's why she had so many different jobs. And one of them was actually to help out in the camps where they would set up camp to build the railroads. So she was surrounded by a lot of other working class people, but she ended up meeting this person on a rare occasion when he showed up at the site to inspect things. And they actually ended up falling in love with each other and having an affair. And the affair ended up lasting quite a long time. He was married in that lifetime to someone else with children. And so it was this very taboo thing, this thing that they definitely had to keep hidden. And it was this thing that really was heartbreaking for her, especially because although she had other relationships, she never ended up marrying, and she really felt like she spent her whole life in love with this person. And so when they met again in this lifetime, she felt that pull, and she also described automatically feeling so much heartbreak that it was too much to handle. And she thought that some of that was just in reference to this lifetime because he was also married to someone else in this lifetime. But it turned out, based on what I saw, that a lot of it was actually extending back to that lifetime, a carryover of some of that heartbreak into this lifetime. And one beautiful thing was that in this current lifetime, they did get a chance to be friends, or at least be friends out in the open to a certain extent. So that was very healing, because in the past life, they were unable to do that. Everything was completely hidden and secretive. So there was a little bit more of a mutual respect for each other. Bringing it out into the open again was very healing for them, although there were some similar themes. So that's something karmically that they're probably still working through as two souls. But there was at least some healing on a certain level in terms of getting at least a little bit more on the same page in this lifetime. Some of the significant things that came up were, she explained to me exactly the location of this cafe where she met him. And when I looked up some of the historical information that I was able to see, I actually found out that that exact location is where there was a railroad station, so a train station, and it was actually a really busy area and a hub, and it no longer is. So it's more open to just traffic for cars and parking. There's no longer even a railroad that goes through there. But it was very obvious when I looked up the historical information that it was very different back then. And so this was property that this person likely owned or was invested in. And she had a link to the railroad system because it was one of her jobs. And so it was really incredible to see that they were probably both drawn back to that exact area, literally down to the intersection, because of that link in the past life in the same city. So this one is unique in some ways because, again, it is fairly recent. It was very powerful, a lot of emotions coming through because it was so recent and because there was so much carryover from, again, what was probably their most recent lifetime. And that the synchronicities about it being the same city don't come up in every reading, of course, but oftentimes there are many synchronicities anyway, even if it's just themes, things that they experience in the lifetime, or types of work that they do, or as I mentioned in the last video, even if it's a completely different region, sometimes I see that they have just been there, they've just traveled there recently or something along those lines. So those things are powerful because it helps give confirmation to both me and the client, and that kind of confirmation, that confidence in seeing links like that really does help to open up things. And sometimes people don't remember, they don't see a link necessarily, but I ask for whatever is in the client's highest good to come through. So even if it's something that seems completely foreign to them, something unexpected, likely it's addressing an issue that is important for them to look at that time. All right, so I'm posting a link to my site and then a link to the last video I posted, and also another link to my site where it explains more about my past life readings. So the first link is to book one if you're interested. Again, they're 15% off right now. And the other link is to read more about it. You can also email me, soulsintersect@gmail.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions about this, even this reading, if you're interested. All right, take care.